Hi everyone, and welcome to my live creative time today. My name is Mandy Witherby from Mandy's Papercraft Creations, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is great to be here. And today I have got for you a really lovely fun fold card. It's a double triangle fun fold card. And we're going to be using some of the beautiful Stampin' Up Designer Series paper today. So I hope you will enjoy that. Alrighty, now let me just adjust this camera for a moment, and I'm going to bring this live feed up on my other devices so that I can see all of your comments there if anybody is joining me live today. Now I am going live at a bit of a different time today. Normally it is 11 o'clock, but I pushed it back a little bit this morning and I have good reason. So I will tell you why in a moment. So let me just bring this up so that I can make sure that I can see all of your comments. Okay. Let me go over here. Nope, can't view it there. Hang on one sec. I'll just find it over here on my computer. There it is there. All right, we'll mute that. All good. All right. Hi, Janelle. How are you? Lovely to have you here with me today. Thank you so much for joining. I wasn't sure if anybody would be here joining today because I'm going live at a little bit of a different time today, a little bit later than normal. So I had a very special morning this morning. Hey Kathy, how are you? All the way from California. Thank you so much for joining us. So this morning, my son had a late start this morning at work, and he made breakfast for his mum this morning before he went to work because it's my birthday today. So I thought that I would still come live, but I would just push it back a little bit so that I can enjoy my special pancakes that he made for me this morning for breakfast, because my son doesn't cook. So for him to offer to make me breakfast, it was a big deal. So yeah, so it was very, very special and very yummy. And then I had some phone calls and things as well. So yeah, so that's why I'm a little bit late today. So thank you all so much for joining me today for my birthday. Oh, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Thank you. That's so lovely. Thank you, Janelle. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, so today is going to be, well, this morning was wonderful. Oh, and also too, my son's girlfriend popped in this morning in between her work commitments as well, to come and bring me a little gift and wish me happy birthday, which was really lovely. So I got to see her for about 10 or 15 minutes as well. So that was really lovely. Yeah. So today, yeah, I've got a beautiful card to make with you today, and we're going to make a birthday card, of course. But before I get on to that, I've got a couple of things to share with you, and I did receive a couple of cards in the mail yesterday, and I held them over till today to share them with you. Now, one of them is a birthday card and one of them is actually a thank you card. But I received this beautiful card from my lovely friend and team member, Chitska. And Chitska made this gorgeous birthday card for me. Isn't that so pretty? And look at this background. Isn't that gorgeous? It's actually, at first I was looking to see, oh wow, how did she create that strip? And I thought maybe she'd used her markers and just like done some, you know, like dot painting on there. Or I thought maybe she'd done some flicking technique. But I thought, oh, it looks a bit heavier for flicking technique. And then when I looked more closely, I realized it's actually a stamp just layered over the top of each other in multiple colors, which gave a really fantastic effect. So I'll have to find out from her which detail stamp that is. But I love these flowers as well. Aren't they just so pretty? So thank you so much for my beautiful card, Chitska. I love it. So gorgeous. And beautiful ribbon here too. Actually, this ribbon is the one we're going to be using today. It's the glittered organdy ribbon. We're going to, can you see that there? Sparkly, warkly. So we're going to be using some of that today. The other card that I received today is this beautiful card from one of my team members, Beverly, and she sent me a thank you card for to thank me for a card that I had sent to her recently. And look at this, check this out. This is a big card. Look at the size difference. So this is a standard size card, and this one here is a larger card. And she said she loved this design, but it didn't fit in a normal size envelope, so she had to put it in a big A5 envelope. But look at that, isn't that gorgeous? She's got that pop-up there in the middle. Isn't that just so beautiful? And I don't remember the name of this die set, but it was the stitched, the one that had the stitched flowers. Do you remember that one? I can't remember the name of it. I think it's one of the retired ones now, but it was one of the ones that I really loved. And isn't that, yeah, so I just love that. So thank you so much for that beautiful card, Beverly. That's gorgeous. That's going to go up onto my display shelf along with Chitska's card as well. They'll go up there today. Actually, in fact, for the next couple of days, I might display them out on my buffet as well, so that I can share them and with my family and look at them out there, and then they'll make their way back in here to my craft room. So thank you so much for those beautiful cards. All right. Oh, I'll pop those over there. Yes, it has been a lovely day so far. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, we're actually going to celebrate together as a family tomorrow night, because tonight the family have got some other commitments tonight, so we're not all going to be at home for dinner. So tomorrow night we're going to have a special dinner for my birthday, and then we'll hang out together. And we love playing board games. So does anybody else like playing board games? We've got quite a few different ones. We've got a really big collection of board games that we store. Pardon me, that's the pancakes coming back to haunt me. We've got a big collection of board games upstairs. It used to be a Christmas tradition when the children were younger that every year I'd buy them a board game. And I think did we buy any last year? Now the kids have started buying them for each other. So I tend to not buy the board games anymore, but they buy them for each other. So there's always new board games coming into the family. Oh, Cluedo, Janelle. Yes, Cluedo is a great one. Actually, we haven't played that for ages. Maybe that's one we could play tonight. Thank you for the great idea. Yeah, Cluedo's a fun one. My son has a collection of Monopoly games. He loves Monopoly, and he's got a collection of Monopoly games. I can't remember how many different ones he has, about 7 or 8 or something, different Monopoly games. And one of them is quite different to ordinary Monopoly games. Some of them are, and the other ones are all themed differently. But we've got so many different ones. My son introduced us to another different one recently that he had bought, which I can't remember the name of. I can't think of the name of it. It's a real strategic game. So we love that one as well. But every time I go to play it, because we don't play it frequently, every time I go to play it, I have to have like at least one round or half a round before I get the hang of it again. Articulate is a great game too. Oh, I think that's one that we don't have. Ah, awesome. Might have to look up that one, Janelle. Sounds great. It sounds like a real thinking game. Is it? Is it? You know what else we love too is the escape room games. Have you tried those? You know how there's the physical escape rooms you can go to as an experience, but you actually can get board games that are escape rooms too. We love those as a family, and we all work so well together to solve all those puzzles. I've got a family of thinkers, so they're all they're all real academics. So they're all, not so much their mum, although I do quite well in those games, but yeah, they love all those thinking type games and problem solving. They love problem solving. Ludo and the game of life. Yes, yeah, you're a game junkie too, Janelle. Oh, awesome. That's so great. It is. It's a fast talking description game. Oh, okay. I'd be no good at that one. So that's Articulate. Okay. So Amber, if you are on here watching, so Amber is my moderator. She's also my daughter. I think she was jumping on. However, she might still be sorting out the puppy. But yeah, if Amber, you're on here, then take a note of articulate and write that one down. That might be one we need to look at, because I don't think we have that one. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you are thinkers, you would love articulate. Yeah, they probably all would, and it would just challenge me. Although I do okay, I think, in those thinking games, but yeah, they're just a little bit quicker than me on some of those things. Yeah, we played Pictionary recently as well. Amber and I always do really well together as Pictionary because her and I are often on the same wavelength, and because she helps me in my business as well, she's one of my she's my helper in my business. Her and I are often on the same wavelength with things, so yeah, she just guesses mine really well and I guess hers really well. And we're both creatives. Not that I can draw, but she can. But not that I can make beautiful cards, but I can't draw to save myself. So I'm not an artist. I'm a creative. There's a difference. Thank you so much for some of those suggestions of games. That's so awesome. So the Game of Life, interesting with that one. We had that one growing up. Well, actually, so the tradition of buying board games every Christmas came from my family. So growing up, that's what Mum used to do with us, is she would buy us a board game, a family board game every year. And so I followed on that tradition with my children. One of the latest ones, or the last ones that she bought us as a family, was the Game of Life. But because by that time, because I'm quite a bit younger, I'm 5 years younger than my closest sibling. I'm one of 5 children, and there's 5 years between myself and my closest sister. By the time Mum bought the Game of Life, my siblings had kind of already grown up and started to outgrow wanting to play games. So I never actually learnt how to play it properly. And I don't know whatever happened to Mum's copy of the Game of Life, but yeah, maybe I'll have to get it for my family and learn how to play it, because I never actually learned. I think I played it like a couple of times, but I don't really remember it. I know that we had it. I just don't know how to play it. Oh, Kathy says I can barely make stick people. Me too. Me too. Isn't that funny? We can be so good at in one creative area, but not great in other creative areas. Yeah, I'm exactly the same. Yeah. Oh, so much fun. Yeah, so that will be our night tomorrow night. And yeah, Rummy Cube is another one. Rummy Cube, or some people call it Rummy Cub. We call it Rummy Cube. That's a good one too. But my son is so good at it now. Whenever we play with him, he's very strategic. So he moves the tiles around and he makes new, what do they call them? New runs. Is it runs? And things like that. And yeah, I get all muddled up with that. So if he's not playing, I do quite well. But if he's playing, he always wins. So yeah, but a lot of fun. We've got lots of Taboo is a good one as well. Trivial Pursuit, I'm terrible at Trivial Pursuit. I don't enjoy Trivial Pursuit because I'm no good at geography or history or those types of topics, and sport, no good at any of those. The creative ones, I can answer a lot of those ones, but yeah, Trivial Pursuit is not my game. I don't enjoy that one because it's not that easy for me. Whereas my husband, he's very good at it because he knows a lot of trivia stuff. Yeah, but I'm just trying to think of some of the other ones. What are the other ones? Ah, yes, Amber said, well, it's my birthday, so I get to choose which game. Yes, I like that idea. What was the one that, Cluedo. Janelle suggested Cluedo, Amber, and we haven't played Cluedo for a long time, so I like that idea as well. It's my turn to be strategic. Yes, in my choices of which games we're going to play. I think I'm pretty good at Cluedo. Am I good at Cluedo? I don't know. I enjoy Cluedo. I wouldn't say that I'm good at playing it, but I enjoy it. Yeah, so anyway, we'll have to have a look and see what we've got up there. We've got all different sorts of ones. Anyway, let's jump into some Stampin' Up news. That's enough about me. Enough about my birthday. But yeah, I am going to enjoy spending time with my family. But let me tell you what is happening with Stampin' Up. So today is the 29th of June, 2023, in case you didn't know what date it was. It's the second last day of June. Can you believe that? We're nearly into July already. So what that means is the Stampin' Up promotions that are running at the moment are going to be ending tomorrow. It's the last day. So it's the last day of the starter kit promotion. If you haven't heard about this yet, or you've heard about it, but you've been thinking about it, you're sitting on the fence, not quite sure, you know, if you're going to take up the opportunity. But with the starter kit offer, let me explain it to you. So the starter kit is what you purchase when you join Stampin' Up. It's a kit that you can customize yourself, which means you can choose whatever products you would like to put into that starter kit. So the things you see on this image, they're just suggestions, just to give you an idea of the types of things you can put in your kit. But you can put whatever you like in there. Basically, it's just like a big order. So as you would normally put in your customer orders, you put in a starter kit order and you become part of the Stampin' Up family. And that means too that you get free shipping on that starter kit purchase. Plus you get an ongoing 20% discount, which you can build up over time if you choose to 25%. And at the moment, during June, so you've got 2 more days left, there is a special on the starter kit. So you're going to get to choose $283 worth of product, but you're only going to pay $169. So that means you get $114 worth of product absolutely free, which you get to choose yourself. So even those free extra items, you get to choose those. So Stampin' Up doesn't choose them for you. So I just want to let you know a couple of things about when you join Stampin' Up. Some people get worried that they're going to be locked in. No, you're not. You can leave at any time. They worry that they're going to have to sell product. I get that a lot from people. They're like, I really want this starter kit, but I don't want to have to sell product and I don't want to be locked in. But you absolutely don't have to. You can join just for the starter kit. You can join just for the discount. Just keep enjoying the discount just for yourself. You can leave whenever you're ready, or if it turns out that it's not what you wanted, then yeah, you can just leave at any time. No lock-in period, no exit penalties or anything like that. If you would like to continue on, there is a quarterly minimum that Stampin' Up requires each demonstrator to meet if you want to continue on, which it works out to about $127 per month after your discount. And you can spread that out across the 3 months for the quarter. And then there is an extra month where it's like a grace period. It's called a pending month. So if you aren't able to make up your quarterly minimums by the end of that quarter, you have an additional month to make up any shortfall. But don't worry about any of that, because you can just enjoy the discount for as long as you like. And if you don't meet that quarterly minimum, it's not a problem. You just go back to being a customer and you just start ordering again as a customer. It's really easy. You don't even have to officially resign or anything like that. Also too, we have a beautiful team. My team is called the Papercraft Gems, and we have a beautiful team of beautiful people. We are so passionate about our crafting, as all of us paper crafters are. We love it. We love creating beautiful things. We enjoy the community. We have a Facebook group just for our team, and there's also a demonstrator Facebook group. Well, there's a few demonstrator Facebook groups you can become part of as well, and get lots of creative inspiration from all of those. In my team, we do fun things together. Each month we have a team gathering, which we've got one coming up this Saturday. We do that via Zoom because our team is spread across the country, across Australia. So we do that so that we can include everybody. And we also have in August our very first in-person full-day team retreat coming up. So it's a creative retreat, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So our team members are able to come to that as well. So we do lots of different things. We had a lunch together back in January. Yeah, every quarter we do something special together in person, and then in between we meet on Zoom so that everybody around the country can join us who is part of our team. So if you've got any more questions about joining Stampin' Up, about joining my team, if you're here in Australia, then please feel free to let me know. I'd love to answer any of your questions and give you as much information as you would like, or yeah, as I can, before you make that decision if that's right for you. But remember that this special offer for the additional items or the additional value in your starter kit is only available until the 30th, the end of the 30th of June, which is tomorrow. So if you would like to join, then today or tomorrow is the best time to do that. So let me know if I can help you at all with that. Now, if you are in another country, if you're not here in Australia and you're looking for a demonstrator, feel free to let me know as well. I do have contacts all around the world with Stampin' Up demonstrators all around the world. So if you need any help, then please feel free to let me know, and yeah, and I can give you some names. Yeah. All right, so let's see. Just catch up on comments over here. Brenda's here from North Carolina. Hi, Brenda. Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you here. So how is the weather over there at the moment? It must be starting to warm up. You would be coming into summer, I think, wouldn't you? Because or you must be in summer. We've come into winter now, so it's starting to get quite cool. Although today is a nice sunny day again. We had rain and it was freezing yesterday. I think we got up to 11 degrees Celsius yesterday, and it was so cold. Overnight, it's much colder than that. But, oh, it's hot over there at the moment, is it? Oh, there you go. Yes, because yeah, I think your seasons are the exact opposite to us, I think. So yeah. Cindy's here as well. Hey, Cindy, how are you? Lovely to have you with us today. In the 90s. Okay, so who can do the conversion for me from Fahrenheit to Celsius? We work on Celsius here in Australia, so I'm not good at the conversions. But if someone can do a quick Google for me, let me know what the 90s are in Celsius. That'll help me to process how hot that is. Oh, hot where Cindy is in Canada as well. Cindy's watching from Canada. Hot there as well, yep. Kathy says we're expecting high heat this weekend. Okay. And Cindy says she's well, thank you. That's so good to hear, Cindy. That's awesome. Yeah, so let me know in the comments if anyone has a chance to Google what the 90s are in Celsius, 90s in Fahrenheit. What is that in Celsius? And that'll give me a better idea of what that temperature is. So I'm not good at those conversions between imperial and metric and all those things. All right, the other thing, let me share with you the other thing that is happening that is also finishing tomorrow is the paper sale. And when I was designing this class late last night or early hours of this morning, I realized I need to order some more of this paper because I have got hardly any of it left, and I'll show you when we get to the project. But 15% off. There's 13 different packs of papers that are discounted, and there is a flyer as well. You'll find all my links in the description of this video. They're all there, and you can find a link to this flyer that shows you all of the papers that are currently discounted at 15%. Now also too, going back to joining Stampin' Up, if you are a Stampin' Up demonstrator, any specials like this that are discounted or any customer specials, we get those as well as demonstrators. Plus on top of those, we get our demonstrator discount. So the papers are currently 15% discount, discounted by 15% for our customers. Plus then we get our demonstrator discount on top of that as well. So it's a discounted discount. It's awesome. So definitely take that opportunity if you can. Oh, great. Everyone's looking it up. Fantastic. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so Janelle and Brenda have both said that it's around 32 degrees. That is warm. That's very warm. For a summer day here in Western Sydney, where I live, because we are about an hour away from the coast, so we're an hour inland towards the mountains, actually. It's quite hot out here, much hotter than closer to the coast. Closer to the coast, they get the coastal breezes and the temperatures don't get as high, but out here we get quite hot and quite cold in the winter too. But 32 degrees is, yeah, still bearable for us, actually. Still bearable for us. We get up in the low 40s, low to mid 40s in the middle of summer here where we are. But yeah, 32, I understand. 32 is starting to get a little bit warm. Yeah, a little bit hot. So I like the high 20s. The high 20s, mid to high 20s is comfortable. So, oh, thank you so much for looking that up. There we go. So that helps me to understand how hot it is over there. Well, stay hydrated, and if you can, stay in the air conditioning or by the pool or near the ocean or something to stay nice and cool. Yeah. All right, so the other thing that I'm going to, 106 here in southern Arizona. Well, that would be quite a bit hotter, wouldn't it? So 106. So that's 16 degrees higher than what the 90s are, or 90 is. So would that be closer? Would that be up closer to 47, 40-ish, not 47, 40 degrees Celsius? Probably. That's hot. That sounds very hot. Okay. Cindy said you basically multiply the Celsius by 2 and then add 32. Okay. Oh, there you go. Oh, thanks. I'm not sure how to do the calculations between the Celsius and the Fahrenheit. Humidity is really bad. Oh, yeah, the humidity is a killer, isn't it? Like, the humidity is always the worst. 41, Brenda said. 41. Okay, yes, that's hot. That's hot. And if you've got 41 and humidity, that's disgusting. That's so hard to take, isn't it? Okay. Oh, that's how you were taught, Cindy, how to do the conversion. There you go. Oh, well, thank you. Hopefully that will help me. I'll have to try and remember that. So hopefully that will help me to remember. All right, the other thing I was going to share with you is I've got the June tutorial bundle available as well. So this is the Crafty Collaborations June tutorial bundle. I'm part of the Crafty Collaborations team or group, and every month we put together we contribute and towards putting together the bundle, the tutorial bundle. This one has got 47 projects in it. So lots and lots of pages of instructions of 47 beautiful projects there. So mine is this one up here, little sneaky peek. This one is available for my customers, but it's also available for purchase. So my customers get this for free whenever they place an order over $75, but this can be purchased from anywhere around the world for 28 Australian dollars. So if you are overseas and you love tutorials and you would like to get 47 tutorials, it's only going to cost 28 Australian dollars. So if you would like this, if you're interested in this, then just flick me a message or an email and I can get that sorted for you. So yeah, that's the June one. Very soon we'll have the July one coming out, but there's lots and lots of beautiful projects there that that you can learn to make. So it's basically like a class, like a mega class. 47 projects, a mega class for $28. Like, that's amazing. So there you go. And of course, we've got the beautiful catalog, the beautiful annual catalog. So if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Australia and you don't have one of these beautiful catalogs, I would love to get one out to you. Of course, I've added all of my tabs. As you can see, this is my ongoing wish list. These are all my tabs to help me find things in the catalogue because I'm referencing this every day. And I do take mine and get it spiral bound at my local stationers as well. So it doesn't come with this beautiful binding. It just comes with an ordinary, you know, glued book binding. But yeah, if you would like one of these, there is a request form in the links in the description. You can click on the request form, fill in your details, and I can get one of these out to you if you're here in Australia. And again, if you're looking for a demonstrator and you're in another country, let me know because I've got lots of contacts all around the world. All right, so that is what is happening. How about we get onto some crafting and we make this beautiful birthday card that I have to share with you today. We're making a fun fold card. We are making a double triangle fun fold card. Has anybody made one of these before? Let me know in the comments if you had. You might call it by another name perhaps, so you might not know if you've made this until I show you what it's going to look like. Cindy said that's a great deal. Yes, it is definitely a great deal. Yes. Yeah. No, Janelle says no, she hasn't. Oh, great. Oh, good. I'll be able to show you how to make that today. I hope you enjoy it. Now, all of my measurements today are in metric because I work in metric. Here in Australia, we work in metric measurements. I don't have a direct conversion to imperial. However, I know that this particular card has been made by American demonstrators, so it might be something that you can Google, or often we can just, so if I see a card that's made in imperial measurements, I just look at the card and I'm able to work out the measurements myself and just change them to fit our card bases, because the card bases here in Australia are a different size to the card bases in America, which is why the straight conversion doesn't always work, because my layers would not fit on your layers. So the Australian metric layers would not fit properly on the imperial measurement base card. Yeah, because the card bases are different. Yours are, in America, they're shorter and wider. In Australia, they're taller and narrower. So that is why the measurements don't always cross over exactly. But anyway, you'll see the card. It'll give you an idea, and you can probably work it out from your standard measurements that you usually have anyway for your cards. So it's a pretty easy one to put together. So let me share it with you. I'll put the camera down onto the desktop and I will show you what we are creating. All right, so I have had a few queries lately as to why I don't share the imperial conversion, and that I just thought I'd explain today why, because they don't convert exactly. They need, yeah, so that is why. All right, let me cover up the camera so that I don't make you dizzy while I do the transition. I'm going to tip the camera down onto the desk. So here we go. I'm actually going to try something different today to see if the sound will be a little bit better today. So let me see. Oh, actually, I don't know if it'll work. No, I'll have to do it the other way, actually. Yes, because the way I flip it on Facebook is different to how I do it on YouTube. But the way I do it, yeah. It's all right. I'm just trying to think which way would it work. But it won't actually work the way I do it on Facebook. Doesn't work for YouTube. There's a reason why. I won't go into it. It's confusing. Here we go. All right. Bear with me. Oh, okay. Here we go. There we go. Zoom in a tad. And the reason that the flipping doesn't work the other way is because I actually can't flip the screen in the same way that I do for Facebook, because there's different settings on YouTube. And right now my voice probably sounds really loud because I'm quite close to the camera. I'm just dropping my voice a little bit. But in a moment when I sit back down, hopefully, there we go. Hopefully everything will be all good. All right, I'll just move my keyboard out of the way because we don't need that right now. Okay, and if we need to adjust the camera, we will do so as needed. But I think we are all good. So all the products I'm sharing with you today, you can find them in my online store, and you can find my online store via my blog or via my website. But over on my blog, if you go there, there is lots of creative inspiration there. There's also a link to my newsletter. So if you haven't yet subscribed to my newsletter and you'd like to stay up to date with all the latest Stampin' Up news, I give weekly creative inspiration, all different sorts of things. I sometimes put extra tutorials on there, and when you do subscribe, you do get a free exclusive tutorial which I have designed especially for my my newsletter subscribers. So that's an exclusive one that you get for free when you subscribe to my newsletter. Yeah, and there's also a PDF version of the catalog there too, if you wanted to if you don't have a paper copy and you just wanted to quickly jump on to have a look through the catalog, you can do that there as well. So check that out. There's also some tabs there at the top of my blog with tutorials for sale if you're interested in looking to see what tutorials I have on offer. The monthly tutorials as well, I've got past ones there as well if you're interested in any of those. Yeah, all different sorts of things, so check that out, and also a link to my calendar with upcoming events and things like that, so you can go there and check that out. All right, this is the beautiful annual catalog, as I mentioned. Now today we are going to be playing with the papers specifically from the Countryside Inn suite. I'll just move that right up so you can see those. These papers are absolutely gorgeous. So I'll talk about the whole suite first. This is a suite of coordinating products. So you have this big stamp. This is one stamp, and it stamps all these different frames, which you can then individually die cut with the coordinating dies. Or you can just get the dies on their own to use, on their own, but you probably will want the stamp set with them as well. When you buy the stamp set and the dies together, you do get them as a bundle. Choose the bundle code and get them as a 10% discount. Okay, if you were to purchase them individually, you'll pay full price, but if you get the bundle, you'll get a 10% discount. There's also an embossing folder which coordinates with some of the beautiful paper, or it can be used as a standalone product. If you want all of the products in the suite, there is one code over here on page 62. You just put that code in and you will get all of the products in the suite. So that's the paper, the embossing folder, and the stamp and die bundle with the 10% discount included. Okay, or any of those products if you want them individually, all the codes are over here for the individual products on page 62. Okay. Oh, Kathy said she just ordered the designer series paper. It's lovely. Oh, fantastic. And Vicky says sometimes just seeing the card we can copy close enough to make it work. Yes, I agree too, Vicky. And that's what I do too. If I see cards that are in imperial measurements and I want to change that to metric, I just kind of wing it and work it out as I go. And yeah, we're pretty clever, us paper crafters. I think most of you can probably work it out. But there is the beautiful paper. I'm just going to hold that up a little bit closer to the camera so you can see those a bit closer, because I don't have full sheets of these because mine have all been chopped up and I've used up nearly my whole pack of paper. So they do come in 12 by 12 sheets, but just to give you a little bit of an overview so you can see the front and a little bit of the back view as well of the papers. You can see them a little bit better on the online store. So if you go to the online store and type in Countryside Inn designer series paper, that will come up, and then you can see both sides of the paper as you flick through the photos in the online store. Okay, there is another, if you go to the designer series papers at the back of the catalogue from pages 128, you can see them there as well. And these are one of the papers that are on special at the moment for a 15% discount. So yeah, and there's a whole heap of other papers as well that are discounted. I think the only ones that aren't discounted are the specialty ones and the in color and the color collections ones. They're not on special at the moment. And these ones, of course, as well. But all of these other ones, they're all on special. Yeah. So there's 13 there. They're all so beautiful. I just received an order today, which arrived this morning, and I've got some more new papers that have come today too. But unfortunately, the Countryside Inn was not one that I had already ordered. So now I just have to put in another order so that I can get another pack. Now, this is basically all I have left. I've got a few extra little off-cut bits as well, but this is basically all I've got left of the papers. So they come in 12 by 12 inches or 30.5 centimeters by 30.5 centimeters. And these are the beautiful designs. So this is one side. These are half sheets that I've cut down. Cute little bunnies on here. This is another sheet. We're using some of this one today. This was another sheet with the cute little foxes. This one with the birds, we're using some of that today. So that's all I've got left of that one. And then this one, oh, I had another little strip of this one. These two strips are all that I have left of this particular paper. That's it. That's all I've got left. So that's obviously been my favorite paper of the pack. So really beautiful. On the other side, we've got some floral designs. I'll show you the backs of each one of these. We've got some stripes. We've got some little floral images on. We're using some of this one today. And this one here, which has got a lovely floral pattern. I really love this one too. Very pretty. So aren't they just such beautiful papers? So we've got lots of blues happening in these papers today. So that is what we're going to be using. And these are my extra little scrappy bits. So that's it. That's all I've got left. But I have already pulled out all of the bits that we need for our project today. So I will give you all the measurements in metric today. So I've got them all here prepped and ready. We've got some extra pieces cut. I've got some extra cardstock pieces as well. And some flowers too. So let's pull out some of those flowers. I think it was the dark blue ones of those ones that I wanted. Okay, I punched some extra ones just in case. I'm using a few extra products today too. I'll show you what else we are using as we go today. Okay, I won't pull them all out to begin with. I'll show you as we go. Okay, so what we need to begin with, as I said, we're using all of these blues today. So we need a piece of, I'll give you all the cardstock pieces first, and then I'll give you all the designer series paper pieces. Oh, that's my spare one. All right. So we need, first of all, we need this one. This is the base. This is actually the base piece. So this is a card front size. This one measures 10.5 centimeters by 14.85 centimeters. Now, if you miss all of these measurements or any of these measurements, don't panic because all of these measurements will be over on my blog tomorrow. Okay, so by the end of tomorrow, which is Friday the 30th, this project will be on my blog with all of the measurements. So you can always go over there to get them. Okay. So 10.5 by 14.85 centimeters, that is your card base. Now this is the card that's going to go on top of that, and it opens this way. So it's like a tent fold, top to bottom. So this piece measures this, this one is Night of Navy. This one is boho blue, and this one measures 28.5 centimeters by 9.9 centimeters, and then I've scored and folded that in half at 14.25. Okay, then we need an insert for the inside. The insert is Did I write this one down? It's the same as the DSP. So it is 9.5 by 13.85. Okay, so that's going to be the insert for there. We've got this piece for, what was this piece for? That's a very good question. What did I have this piece for? Let me come back to that one. Oh, I think that one was the scrap. That one was the scrap piece. Sorry, yes. I was thinking, wait, I can't remember adding that one. That was a scrap piece for punching some of these little flowers. So this was just out of my scrap pile. Okay, so Night of Navy scrap. And then we've got two pieces of basic white. Now I've already die cut this one. This one for the sentiment label was I've written 7.9 centimeters. That's not very helpful, Mandy. 7.9 by what? Let me see. Oh, okay. The shape is 7.9. All right. So if you had an 8.5 by 5.5, and you'll be able to die cut that shape. Now that shape is die cut from, sorry, I did design this very late last night. From these dies. These are the Something Fancy dies, and I've used that largest long label there. Okay, so that's that one. Then I have a strip for the sentiment, and the strip for the sentiment is 9.5 centimeters by 1.9, or I know that is 3/4 of an inch wide. Okay, or 1.9 centimeters. I don't know the length in inches though. I could probably tell you. It's to fit the, it's 3 3/4 inches long. That's to fit in the Banners Pick a Punch, because we're going to use the Banners Pick a Punch for our sentiment. Okay, so that's all your cardstock pieces. You'll also need some additional scraps of Balmy Blue. Sorry, I was thinking, which color did I use again? Balmy Blue. So the Balmy Blue piece, we are going to use that for some punching from the Bough Punch. So these two pieces here, they're just from my scraps. So yeah, just use your scrap pieces up, and we're just going to punch some of the boughs, the leaves from and the flowers from the Bough Punch. All right, so that's all the cardstock pieces. Then we're going to need our designer series paper. So here comes the fun part. We need a piece that is 9.5 centimeters by 13.85 centimeters. We need 2 square pieces, which are 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. Now, when you're using the designer series paper for this, because we are scoring, we're cutting the square, but then we're scoring on an angle, my paper is sort of directional paper. So if you are using paper that is directional paper, you just have to be cautious of which way your direction goes, because when we put, I'll show you when I go to put this on my card, because you don't want to end up with your design upside down or going crossways if it's meant to go up and down, etc. And even with your lines on the inside, I've actually got mine marked. They're going to go like that. They're going to mirror each other. So you wouldn't want them at the opposite angle. Do you know what I mean? Like you want them going in the same direction on the opposite sides of the card. I'll show you what I mean when we get to that. Then you're also going to need a label, a circle label. So 6.5 by 6.5 centimeters. And then I've used the Stylish Shape dies, the 3rd smallest circle, to die cut a circle from the designer series paper, and that's the opposite side of the birds. And then we're going to have a belly band as well, and the belly band piece is 25.5 centimeters long and 2.5 centimeters wide. Okay, Oh, and there's one of my other little flowers. All right, so let me show you how to put this card together. We're going to be using a lot of multi-purpose liquid glue today. And the first thing we are going to start with is the base piece. And we'll actually just take that one out because we'll add that later. So we're going to start with this piece and our 2 square pieces. Okay. Now, what you're going to need to do with your square pieces is we're going to score them. I've already done mine ahead of time, but I'll show you how I did it. So we've got 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, and then we're going to score across the diagonal. Now, as I said, we want these to mirror each other. So we don't want to score exactly on the same. So say my paper goes this way, okay? Because it's directional. You can see the birds are standing up the right way. I don't want to score them both the exact same corner to corner, because then one of them would be upside down. So we want to score them at the opposite angle, if that makes sense. So this one on the left, is this one on the left? Hang on, let me check. No, that's actually the right. Let's go this way. So we're going this way. So the one on the left, I've got going from the top left to the bottom right, and then I've done it the opposite angle on the other side. Okay, so basically all I did was I lined it up along the cutting track of my trimmer, and then I just used my dark grey scoring blade and scored it a couple of times. Now, don't go too heavy with your scoring blade when you're scoring your DSP, because it can crack it. I did actually do it a little bit heavy just on this bottom corner, and it started to crack. But I'm still going to use this piece because it hasn't gone all the way through. If it goes all the way through, it can actually split it. So don't go too heavy with your blade, with your scoring blade. Then once you get that scored, you're simply just going to fold them, each of those, in half to form a triangle. Okay, like that. Okay, now I've got mine marked because I already had these worked out last night. Now, if you haven't already worked them out, what I did before I scored them is I actually laid them down flat on my sort of on my desk, and I just folded them over to see how the pattern would look when they wrap around the front, because they're going to wrap around like that. Now the birds are at a little bit of an angle on each of those, but I don't mind that too much. If they were completely upside down, it would look really weird, but they're just at a bit of an angle, so I think I can get away with it. So that's what I mean by being careful about directional paper if you're using directional paper. If I was using the other side with the lines, the stripes I should say, then you'd have to be quite careful with which way you had those stripes. You'd want them sort of matching, because that would look weird if they weren't going in the same direction. See how the lines are going opposite, like in different directions? That would just be, yeah. So just be a little bit careful with directional paper. All right, these are going to be glued on like that. All right, let's get our multi-purpose liquid glue. And I'm going to adhere the one on the left first. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that our card is opening and closing in the correct orientation. Okay, we want to do this with our card closed. I'm going to take my silicone craft sheet and just put, silicone craft sheet is available as well in the annual catalogue and in the online store, and it is great for using with your adhesives. Oh, no worries, Kathy. Oh, you work early in the morning. Oh, that's okay. You have a lovely sleep, and thank you so much for joining us. You're welcome to come back and watch the replay when you get a chance as well. And Kathy says, have a lovely celebration with my family. Thank you so much, Kathy. That's very lovely of you. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to put some glue down on this right side here of this back panel. But we don't want to take the glue all the way to the seam. So I'm just going to see if I can get my glue running first. I might need to get some more glue. Oh, there we go. Okay, now it just oozed. Okay, so we don't want to go all the way to the seam. I'm going to have to spread that. So what I'll do is I'll just, did you know that our green glue or our multi-purpose liquid glue has a spreader end? A lot of people don't realize that it's there on the thick end. So I'm just going to spread that glue a little bit so that it's not too thick near that seam, and I'll show you why. Whoops, oh, that one got a bit close. So just spread that in. I've got that a little bit thick there. It just sort of oozed out of my tube very quickly. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe this bit off here that went near the seam, because we don't want that too close to that folded edge. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece, I'm just trying to find a non-sticky part of this card. We're going to lay that down on our closed card, making sure that you have your paper lined up at the top there and the bottom there. Have it evenly spaced there, and just going to push it in to your card. Okay, you're going to push it into your card. The glue is on the back part. You're going to push it into the card, and then you're going to push that down really well. Once that's adhered, make sure you've got that pushed right in to your card. Then you can flip it over. Just make sure you don't put it down on any of that glue there, and push that down there. If you get a little bit of excess glue on the back, that's okay, because we're going to adhere this piece down anyway, so that's all right. But we want this to open like that. Now, if you get a little bit of excess glue here, what can happen is it can cause, and this has actually happened, so it's good for me to be able to share this with you. It can cause this part of the card to be a little bit sticky to open. Okay, so what you can do is, if you get a little bit of excess glue there where my glue oozed, just put that back over there, is you can either do one of two things. You can take an adhesive eraser if you have one, and you can remove that excess glue with your adhesive eraser. Okay, if you don't have an adhesive eraser, I've got a little bit on there as well, but you have a embossing buddy. The embossing buddy is full of this anti-static powder, but did you know that it can also take away sticky? Well, it actually adheres to the sticky and stops it being sticky. So you can rub that along any of those sticky little pieces too. Okay, so you can do one of two things. So now that's not sticky anymore, and so I can close my card and it'll open. Still just catching a little bit there somewhere. Aha, it's here. The glue got on that part, that front part of the card, so I'll just rub that off with my eraser. There we go. So now that should, yes, so now that opens beautifully. Okay, so we're going to repeat that with the other side and hope that our glue doesn't ooze this time. Okay, so again, before you adhere your paper, check the direction of it. Okay, we're going to put some glue on this side this time. Trying to stay away from that seam. We want it fairly close to the seam, but you don't want it all the way up to the seam or the center. Okay, so you want it close, but not quite to the edge of that score line. I keep calling it the seam, but I mean the score line. All right, again, close your card. Make sure you've got it the right orientation. Lay it down on your paper. Close your paper over. Make sure you've got the tips lined up there, top and bottom, and then push that on into the card. Once you've got that slid all the way into the card, lay that down. Give a good press. Flip it over. Being careful not to put it down into that glue on the front part. There we go. So these two pieces now are adhered to the back, okay? And then this is how it's going to open. Let's feel if we've got, oh, we've got a little bit of glue again. That glue really does ooze. So even though I didn't put it close to the edge this time, it still oozed a little bit. So we just get rid of that sticky. There we go. Okay. And then our card closes like that. All right. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to attach that to our card base. So this is just a piece of Night of Navy, and we're going to attach this to there. So this is the front that is open. Okay, so we're going to flip that over, and where these pieces are adhered, we're going to put glue all on the back of this part now. So go all the way around and across in through the middle there as well. We want that to adhere really well to our card base. Okay, we'll flip that over and attach that to our base. With a nice even border, you should have a 3mm border all the way around. There we go, give that a good firm press. Once that's down like that, we'll turn it over, give it a good rub on the back. Okay, so this is how our card is looking. Okay, now we need to put an insert inside here, and I've got one cut here. I was going to cut just a little strip of designer series paper to put across the bottom, and I hadn't done that bit yet. So let's do that now. Okay, and I've got a couple of offcuts in here that I can use. So let's just use one of those to save cutting any extra paper. So this is one of the other papers that I don't have much left of. So we can put a little strip of that. I think I'll use a narrower strip. I've got two different strips here, but I think I'll use the narrower strip because I like to write a lot on my cards. So I usually find that I need a lot of space. So this one was 13.85 wide, I believe. Yep. So this little strip is just a little bit longer. You can do one of two things. You can put glue on that and then just snip that off with your paper snips, or you can trim it up on your trimmer. I'm going to trim it on my trimmer just so that it's already done, ready to adhere. Oh, actually, what was the width of that? Not 13.85, 9.5. 9.5 centimeters. That sounds better. I was thinking, hang on, 13.85, that sounds a bit too long. There we go. So now that should, if I got that right, is that the right layer? Yes, 9.5. Okay, so we'll adhere that there. Now, if you like to stamp sentiments on the insides of your cards before you adhere your inserts, you can do that at this point here. I personally don't. I don't stamp on mine until I'm going to send it, so that I know who I'm going to send it to, what I'm sending it for. Well, this is obviously a birthday card because we're putting a birthday sentiment on the front. But sometimes I like to tailor the birthday greeting to the person that I'm sending it to. So I actually won't put a birthday greeting on the inside just at this point. I will add that later. And if you're worried that you might muck up your stamping later, if ever that happens and you've already adhered your insert, what you can do is you can then use a label and stamp your image again, your sentiment again onto a label, and then just adhere the label inside your card. When I'm using adhering my inserts, I do like to use Stampin' Seal or tear and tape, so that none of that glue can be seen, none of the glue ridges can actually be seen through the basic white cardstock. Okay, there we go. So that's the inside. Got a few extra little bits here and there on there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so like that, like that, like that. Now, we are going to adhere an extra piece on here, okay, to make that pretty there. Now this piece, because it's pattern designer series paper, we can use the glue this time. There we go. Okay, So we're going to adhere this piece here. So this is the same size as the insert, so 9.5 by 13.85. Line that up. We've got that wiggle time with the liquid glue, so we can slide that paper in place. All right, so we've got that. Okay, isn't that looking amazing? It's looking so beautiful. But now we need something to hold this all together. So here is where we start to design our belly band. All right, so this piece here, this is 25.5 centimeters long by 2.5 centimeters wide. And what I'm simply going to do is, I've already prepared this last night, but just to show you how I did that, I basically just laid that down on my card. I had a look to see that it was roughly in the center, and then I simply just wrapped those ends around, okay? And we're going to attach it to the front. Now, when you're attaching it to the front, this belly band is going to need to be slid on and off the card. So you don't want to pull this really tight. If you pull it too tight, the recipient is not going to be easily able to slide that off the card, okay? So don't pull it too tight. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of adhesive just on the end of this piece. Oops, if I can get my tape runner to run. Come on, there we go. No, didn't quite get it. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to put a couple of strips there of adhesive. And I added some extra adhesive to my fingers. So I'll just get that off my fingers. And then we're simply going to wrap this belly band. Now, it doesn't matter which way you wrap it, if it's left over right or right over left, whichever. But just wrap it around. Don't pull it too tight. Okay? And then just check before you push that down really tightly. Check that you can slide it on and off. The easiest way to slide it is to slide it at equal heights on both sides. Okay, if you start to push it up too far on one side and not as much on the other side, it pushes it to an angle, and then it won't slide off easily. Okay, but we want that to be able to easily slide up and down, which that's sliding quite well. So once you're happy with how it's sliding, then you can adhere your adhesive really firmly. Okay, so then just give that an extra hard push. All right, so that's our belly band on. Now we have to decorate that, and we want to cover up the join. So here's where my extra pieces come in. All right, and I've got some decorative pieces as well. So our belly band is going to be made up of this label. So this label is the one that I die cut from the Something Fancy dies, and I used this large label here. Okay, and I just die cut my basic white cardstock, and that is going to be adhered to the belly band. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some adhesive along there, and I think I will just use my liquid glue, and I know that it's going to go across the middle like that. Okay, I don't want to put too much because I don't want that to ooze over the sides. If you're concerned, then use a dry adhesive like Stampin' Seal or Tear and Tape. Okay, so that's going to be adhered across the center like that. You can also, once you've created that belly band, you can actually take that belly band off the card and design the belly band off the card and then add it back on again. Then just slip it back on. Okay, so make sure you don't have that adhesive going over the edges because we don't want that belly band to stick on the card. You can even slide that off and just double check. Make sure your adhesive is not going over the edges, and again, if it does, use your eraser or your embossing buddy to take off that sticky. Just rub it on the back there to get rid of that sticky, so that then you can slide it back on easily. Because if it's sticky at all, then of course it's not going to slide on and off easily. There we go. Okay, so we'll slide that back on. Got to get that sliding evenly. Oh, it's stuck. That's right. It's okay. It's caught there on the... Where's it catching? It's catching somewhere there. Ah, I see. That piece is catching there. Okay. That's why. There we go. Got it. It's all right. The little bit of cardstock inside was just catching. All right. There we go. Now, onto that, we are going to add... let me just check. Where was I up to? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our little circle here that I've die cut with our stylish shaped dies. So our stylish shaped dies, and I've used the third smallest circle, the third smallest stitch circle. I'm going to adhere this flat as well. Now this time I'm going to put the glue on the label, okay, not on the back of the circle, because the circle goes over the edges of the label, and I want to make sure that that glue doesn't go outside of this label, because we don't want it getting on the card. We don't want it getting on these layers here, because then everything will be sticky and it won't open and close properly. Okay, so we're going to attach that there like that. There we go. Okay, and I've punched out, I took my bow punch and I punched out a few leaves from my scrap cardstock. Okay, so let's just do one more. I want another large one. Oops. It's going to be a bit noisy. There we go. Okay. Now you'll notice with these ones, they've got a little bit of ink around them. Okay. Oh, also too, I punched out a couple of the small flowers, which is at the top of the punch there, in some Night of Navy. So let's just punch another one of those. So we need 2 of those. There we go. Last night when I was punching these, I just punched a whole heap of them all at once. Okay, and then what I did is I took my Misty Moonlight ink and a sponge dauber, and with the large leaves, I just took my sponge dauber and I just went around the edge of those leaves just to give them a little bit of definition and a little bit of interest. So it looks like there's a bit of shade hitting the leaves so that they're not just all a single color. I mean, you could leave them just as they are and it would still look lovely, but I love inking techniques. So I love using my sponge daubers and my inks. And you'll see that most of my projects do have some sort of sponging ink on them. Not every card, but a lot of my cards do, because it's one of my favorite techniques to use. There we go, and just a little bit down on the stems, but the stems are probably mostly going to be covered. There we go. So just a little bit, only roughly. It doesn't have to be all the way around the leaves, because they can be a little bit hard to get right into those tight little corners there. But just to add a little bit of interest there. Now with the other 2 dark ones, with the Night of Navy, we don't need to add any extra ink to those. They are okay as they are. Oh, actually, while we've got that out, we will stamp our sentiment. So let's pop those to the side for a moment and we'll stamp our sentiment. We'll put our card to the side. All right, for our sentiment today, I am using the go-to greetings. I love this stamp set because not only because it's a cling stamp set, I love working with cling. The cling stamp sets are the red rubber stamps. Okay, so you've got the lovely foam that's built into the foam layer that's built into the stamp. We've got our stickers we can attach to them so that we can see to line those up when we're stamping. But I love that in this stamp set, you've got the 3 different sizes and 3 different fonts of greeting. So you've got happy birthday, thinking of you, just a note, and thank you. So which covers a variety of occasions. And then you've got each one of those sentiments in the different fonts. And then you've also got an additional hello as well in the smallest font. Okay, so I'm going to use the middle-sized ones. Now, all of the greetings that are shown on the cover are only shown at 90% so that they can fit them all on the cover. So the stamps themselves are actually a little bit bigger. So this is the one we're using here, Happy Birthday, but if I hold the stamp up beside it, which I've already put on my block, you can see that the actual greeting is a bit bigger. Okay, so this is a really great set to have in your repertoire of stamp sets because you've just got all the greetings there that you'll need. I really think the only thing that's not there is congratulations. But yeah, pretty much these cover a variety of different occasions. Okay, so we are using Happy Birthday. I've already put it on my block. These are repositionable stamps, so they can be removed. What I like to do with my stickers, once I've put them on my blocks, you've probably heard me talk about this before, is I choose one corner. I always use the same corner, the bottom right corner. I just dab it off on my shirt or my jeans or my pants or something like that, just to get one corner that's less sticky, because the stickers on these are super sticky and they can be hard to remove off your block. But if you have one corner that you know you can lift easily, you'll be able to get them off your blocks without a problem. Okay, so I always use the bottom right corner on each of my stamps. All right, we're going to ink up our stamp. So we're just doing a light tap on the ink pad. Check that you've got a nice coverage there of ink. And then we're going to line this up now. I might get my head in shot here as I try to line this up. I'll bring that down towards me. We're just going to stamp this in the center. Straight down, straight back up. Beautiful, look at that. So this is the Misty Moonlight color. It's a beautiful color, beautiful blue. All right, to clean our stamp, I'm just going to use a piece of scrap paper. I've got the small grid paper here. If you're looking for grid paper, Stampin' Up has the large grid paper available, and it comes in a large pad. You just peel off the pages as you need them, and it keeps your desk really nice and clean and tidy. You can use it as scrap paper to stamp off like I do there, or to check your stamps before you stamp them. Yeah, I always like to have grid paper nearby when I'm stamping. Just use my Simply Chamois to clean my stamp there. There we go. Okay, that's all good. Now, if any of the tools I use or anything like that you would like more information about, or any of the products, please feel free to let me know, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Okay, so this was my strip that measured. Oh, I've buried my measurements here. This one was 9.5 centimeters by 1.9, which fits beautifully in my banners Pick-a-Punch. So you've got 2 choices here of banners. You've got the arrow point, and then you've got the I don't know what you call it, the in-cut banner, and you've got 3 different sizes. So this works out to be the 1/2 inch strip. And you've got these little, in this punch here, you've got these little grooves where the cardstock will fit. I like to write the measurements on there so that I remember what size cardstock fits easily in those little ridges. If you have a piece of cardstock that's not quite those measurements, you can still do it. You can still fit it in. You just have to line it up carefully with your eye. And the best way to do that is to flip your punch over. So I flip it over even when I am lining it up in the groove. I flip it over so that I can see exactly where that cardstock is sitting. Make sure I've got it pushed up against that straight edge there, and then punch. And then I'll take that out, I'll turn it around, do the same for the other end. It just makes it so much easier if your piece is exactly fitting in those grooves, because it holds it nice and still and in place. There we go. Oh, I needed that Misty Moonlight ink again, actually. So I'll bring that back in. We're going to ink around the edges of our sentiment label, just to give that a little border. Okay, so we'll just use our sponge dauber and go around the edges, give that a nice soft little border. I love the sponge daubers. I think they're my most used colouring tool. I love my blending brushes too. There we go. So now we've got a nice little border around our greeting. Oh, the one thing I didn't do, I forgot actually, was to add my ribbon. And I meant to add my ribbon between these two layers here, but that's okay. I've already adhered those two. So I'll add it now before I add my sentiment label. So if you haven't already adhered your ribbon at this point, it's a great idea to adhere it between your circular piece and your banner, your label. This is the sentiment. So between your label piece and your circular piece here, it's a good idea to attach your ribbon at that point. But if you haven't, you can still do it at this point. I'm just going to wrap it around, bring it back around to the front and tie a bow. So let's see how much I'll need. Probably not that much. That's probably too much. I want to leave myself enough to tie a nice bow. So I'll just trim that ribbon off. This is the glittered organdy ribbon. Now this one you won't find in the catalogue, but you will find in the online exclusives, okay? So this was carried over from one of the previous catalogues, but it's not in the current annual catalogue. So you can just find it in the online store under online exclusives. Now our bow is going to go right over here at the edge, the right hand edge. Now just note with this ribbon, it does have a right side and a wrong side, and I'm just making sure I'm putting it, yeah, the glitter is only on one side of the ribbon. So if you want that glitter to be more obvious, just make sure that you've got that glitter on the outside when you're running your ribbon around your belly band there. So we're going to tie our bow. We kind of want a sideways bow this time so that we can still fit our sentiment label. And this is quite a stiff ribbon, so you might need to fiddle with your bow a few times to get that nice and tight. That's not too bad actually. And then we can, oh, that end is already perfect, and we just need to trim up that end. All right, now let's check before we adhere this to make sure that we can fit that on there. Oh, it's going to be close. So I'm going to wriggle that bow over to the very edge of the card. And now we'll fit that in there perfectly. Okay, great. Now, before I attach my sentiment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that that ribbon is going to stay put and not go anywhere. So I'm going to attach some little glue dots. And the reason I'm doing that at this point is because I wanted to make sure that I had that bow in the right spot first. So I'm just I picked up a glue dot with my Take Your Pick tool, which is a fantastic tool. If you don't have one of these, they are very, very handy. I'm going to slip that just underneath my ribbon here in the center. Okay, and press that down. And then to make sure that my bow stays there, I'm going to pop one under my bow as well. So I'll grab a glue dot. I'll just sneak one in under here under my bow. Push that down, make sure that's in the middle, push that down. And that has left the glue dot behind. And now my bow is not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay right where I tied it. There we go. Okay, that will just help to hold those in place. Now we can go ahead and adhere our sentiment label, and we're going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals this time and pop those up. Okay, now I haven't forgotten about my little leaves. They're going to go down last. Now you might want to work out exactly where you're going to add these. You don't want to put your dimensionals right out on the tippy tip corners because it's going to go over the label below. So we want to put them in a little bit from the corners. So I'm going to put one there in the center. And then I'm going to put one about here. And one about here. Okay. All right, we'll remove that backing paper from those Stampin' Dimensionals. Stampin' Dimensionals are just 3D mounting foam, if you weren't sure of what Stampin' Dimensionals were. Okay, we're going to attach that in there. Make sure that we get that in near the ribbon there. We've still got the ribbon around there. Line that up nice and straight across the middle of your belly band. Okay, that actually fits in quite beautifully there. And I'm just going to trim my ribbon on this end. There we go. So that fits perfectly there. All right, so now we're just going to embellish this up. So there we go. All right, so we've got our 3 leaves. We are going to put... hey, Brenton, how you going? You found me. Great to have you. How are you today? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to pop these little leaves in here. Now, the stems are going to be a little bit too long, so I'm just going to trim them off. We'll trim all of them. Well, the 3 large ones anyway. We'll trim those off. We're going to pop these in here. Like so. We're just going to layer them like that. So we'll glue them in. I'll just put a little bit of glue on this bottom leaf. Going to have to open a new bottle of glue soon. So just on this bottom leaf, on the stem. Whoops, now it's starting to, when the glue bottle gets a bit low, you start to lose control of the flow because it all of a sudden will just spurt out. Oh, you're great. That's good, Brenton. Good to hear you are having a good day. There we go. So we're going to pop that one in there. We'll put another one in there too. Just a little bit of glue. Just overlap them a little bit. Like so. And then we're going to take one of these smaller ones and we're going to tuck that in there as well. So this is the Night of Navy. I'm going to tuck that in there. Like that. And then on the other side, we're just going to have one of each of those. So we'll do one of the large leaves. We'll sneak that in here. Hopefully I've got a spot in between my dimensionals over here. Yes, I got that in there. Now we can use our Take Your Pick tool to just push that down in under there. Oh, I've got a little bit of glue. We can also use that to pick up any excess glue that might ooze. There we go. And let's put one of our little navy flower stems in there too. I'm excited to open up my new order after I finish filming today. Got some more goodies in there. There we go. All right, and now we'll add some bling. So I've got a few choices for the bling because there's quite a few that will coordinate with these colors. So I couldn't choose late last night. So I thought, oh, I'll just pull them all out and then I'll decide today. Whoops, hang on, let me find them. They're all falling away. Not falling away, they're falling. Okay, so we have got The iridescent pastel gems, I thought the blue ones would look gorgeous and be nice and blingy. We've got the iridescent pearls. They've also got like little purpley blue tinges to them in the iridescent. We've got the adhesive back sparkle gems. I thought the silver ones would look gorgeous on there. We've also got the tinsel gems 3 packs, and I thought the blue ones might look nice. I haven't used these yet, actually. These are new, I think. Look, brand new packet, unused. So they might look nice. Not sure if they'll stand out enough across, like in amongst all those other blues, however. So we'll see. We've got the flat adhesive backed pearls, and then of course we've got our beautiful rhinestone basic jewels, and I just pulled out my old packet and a brand new packet in case I needed some of the large ones. And if all else fails, if you are not sure what embellishments to use on a project, or you feel overwhelmed or whatever, always go back to your rhinestone basic jewels. They go with anything. And if you have Stampin' Blends, you can color these any color you want them, because the Stampin' Blends, being alcohol-based markers, they will dry on non-porous surfaces. So they color up your rhinestones beautifully, as you can see here. I've colored some of these in some of the natural tones blends. Hopefully you can see that through the packet, because I haven't taken them out of the plastic. To get some, remember we had the champagne rhinestones in the last catalogue? So I coloured my own champagne rhinestones using those natural tone blends. So a bit hard to see on camera, so you just have to trust me on that one. So yeah, so I've got my rhinestones there, but let's use something else today. Let's use something different today. I'm thinking these ones. I'm thinking these would look really beautiful on there. Yeah, I'm thinking those, but I haven't used these ones yet either. So let's try, and I've barely used these ones. They've got a bit more pinky purpley, so we might set those aside for more of a pinky toned card. And the pearls are another good go-to embellishment as well if you're unsure, either the rhinestones or the pearls. I always have them in my stash because they are just my go-tos for lots of different projects. All right, so let's see. I've got these tinsel ones. I think the tinsel ones, they are beautiful, but I think we're going to lose them in there unless I put them on this layer. Oh, I can't choose. These silvery ones. Yeah, I'm thinking these ones or these ones. So in these ones, these are the iridescent pastel gems. These have got 3 colours in them. And I like the bluey tone ones. Or do I use these ones? Because these are brand new. I haven't tried these ones before. So maybe I should try these ones. What do you think? We could put, let's see. Let's grab one and see. I'll take one off the, oops. I'll take one off the backing there. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to lose them on the blue paper. But if we put them on the white paper, we'd see them. We'll lose them on the blue there. But we can put them on the white pieces. So we can put them here and there on the white one. Okay, so that's that one. Let's have a look at these ones. These ones. So these ones are a bit more sparkly. They're easier to see on the, I do like those as well. Oh, decisions, everybody. You like the tinsel ones or the basic rhinestones, Brenton? Yeah. Oh, your order's on its way too, Brenton. That's awesome. You got your pre-order and your 12 by 12 cardstock. Fantastic. Amber said, what about the embellishments from the Fresh as a Daisy suite? There's boho blue in them. Oh, okay. Let me remember which ones they are. Let's see. let's see. From the Daisy Suite. Fresh as a daisy, 110 to 111. Let me see, which ones were they? Oh yes, those ones. I did have them out last night actually, you know, and I put them back again. Let me grab them. They are still on top in my container because I had them out last night too. Yes, because these have got the boho blue as well in them. These are the adhesive backed solid gems. Let me know if you need codes for any of these products too, by the way. So these have got, okay, so now we've got another blue to try. Let's try these ones. Ooh, these ones might be nice. Oh, okay. Now I've got 3 choices. That's too many choices, everyone. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, 3. What does everybody think? These ones actually stand out better on the darker blues, but you tend to lose them. Oh no, you can see them on the lighter colors as well. Oh, I'm going to need everybody's help. Oh, Brenton said 3 as well. He's changed his mind now from the tinsel gems. So, okay, can everybody help me here? I think I need some help to decide. So 1, 2, or 3 in those blue tones. Look at all these choices we have. Isn't it wonderful having so many choices? Although sometimes I find it makes my it makes it harder for me sometimes to have too many choices, because then, yeah, I'm indecisive. I don't like being indecisive. So Cindy said 3 as well. You all like the boho blue gems. Okay. So Brenton and Cindy both say 3. And Amber suggested these ones as well. So that's 3. That's 3 people choosing those ones. All right. Well, let's go with those then, because I haven't used them yet. They're another new one I haven't used yet. Okay. So firstly, I'm going to add a small one on either side here. They would stand out nice on the dark circle. Yes. They do actually. I tried it on the dark circle and they did stand out beautifully on there. So I'll put that one there, and okay, and then I don't know, I feel like I need to put some up here somewhere. There maybe. And should we do another one down here somewhere? Put it. That's always hard. Do you do that too? Do you have difficulty deciding where you're going to put your embellishments? Well, there we go. We've got 5. So we've got 3 there, and we've got 4 and 5. I mean, you could go crazy with your embellishments really if you wanted to, but I don't know. What do you think? I think that's enough. You have to be careful too about where you place things on here, because you want that belly band to be able to slide off as well. But we'll be right. We'll be able to slide that off there okay. Now, the one thing I wanted to check with my belly band was, so I'll take that all the way off. There was a piece that was catching in there. Ah, I know why. Where I've attached my belly band in here, I didn't attach that flap. Can you see that there? I didn't attach that flap all the way to the edge, and that was catching on this piece here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sneak a little bit of glue in there, hope it doesn't ooze, and just sneak that glue in there. Not all the way to the edge though, because I don't want it to ooze outside of that Got to get it flowing. The alternative to that would be to just snip off that little excess bit in there because it's adhered in. Actually, I might do that. Let's just do that. Let's just snip off that little bit of cardstock there. So just that extra little piece in there, because that was the piece that was catching as I was trying to slide it on and off. Yeah, that's okay. That's easier than trying to glue it. So my glue's not flowing. I need to open up a new bottle of glue. All right, so there we go. So there is our card. So there's our belly band. And then our card opens like this. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, the back is plain. If you wanted to, you could add another piece of designer series paper there if you want to, but I like to leave mine blank because I like to put my Stampin' Up stamp on there and my handmade stamp on there, and then we can write our greeting in there, and then our belly band will slip on very carefully over the top of the card. Oh, as you put that belly band on though, as I just discovered, you have to be careful about those flowers. Are they the leaves and the flowers? That they don't get caught in the layers. There we go. There we go. Finished. Oh, wait, we've lost one little gem here. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. That just came off my sheet. I'll put that back on there. Okay. So they're the ones we went with. So adhesive backed solid gems. Thank you for suggesting those, Amber. That was a good suggestion. Okay, so move all of our bits and pieces. So there we have it. There is our beautiful birthday card using the Countryside in designer series paper. So what do you think? Did you like that? Cindy liked it. Cindy said beautiful card. Thank you. Yeah. So is this a design that you think you might like to try? Do you think you would try this one? So when we turn our card over, we do have the beautiful belly band showing there on the back as well. So that does dress the back up a little bit too. If you added designer series paper on here too, yeah, you'd have to keep that in consideration when you're sliding that belly band on and off as well. So I think leaving the back plain is good. Oh, you love the blues, Vicky? Yeah, they're so beautiful, aren't they? The papers are just gorgeous. They're such pretty papers. Now remember that when you are attaching anything to your centerpiece there, your belly band, you don't want to then adhere these down to these other layers. So you don't want to be putting any adhesive on the back of these, because you need that whole belly band to slide on and off with all of those pieces there. Okay. You've got the paper, Vicky, but you haven't used it yet. Oh, well, there you go. There is a project for you. Also too, the project I made on Monday would be a great one as well, because it uses a lot of designer series paper also. So if you didn't see my video from Monday, you could go back and have a look at that one as well, because it's another great one that you can use up your designer series paper. Yeah. Oh, Cindy said her too. She also has the paper but hasn't used it yet. Oh, well, I hope I've given you a little bit of inspiration today to pull out those beautiful papers and use them. And I'm going to order some more of this paper because, as you saw earlier, I'm nearly out. Oh, Brenton says such a pretty card. Thank you. It's a really fun one, this one. I love creating this one. Yeah, just with all the layers and the different folds that open and close, and it's really not that difficult to put together. Most of the time was actually just in the belly band. The rest of it went together really quickly. So there you go. Oh, well, thank you so much. Oh, good. I'm glad that you feel inspired, Cindy, to pull out your papers and create some beautiful cards. That's great. That's great to hear. If you do create any of your beautiful cards and you'd like to share with them, feel free to send me a message or an email. I'd love to see your beautiful projects. I love it when my friends and my viewers share their beautiful projects with me. I love seeing what everybody else creates. Will I be posting a tutorial for this? Yes, over on my blog tomorrow. By the end of tomorrow, there will be all the information about this project, including all of the measurements. They'll all be there on my blog tomorrow for you. So you can check that out over there. Yeah. So it won't be a PDF tutorial that you can download as such, but all the measurements will be there on the blog. And the step-by-step instructions are here on the video. So, but I will put a link to this video over there also, with some probably some tips and tricks as well. I usually add those too. Brenton says, I'll have to grab mine out too. I love the paper. I haven't used it yet. Oh, everybody, you have to pull out your beautiful papers and use them. Oh, you're very welcome, Cindy. You're welcome. Yes, definitely pull out your countryside in paper and use them. And as you saw, we used quite a few of the different patterns, and they all just go so beautifully together. So Stampin' Up makes our job easy by having all of those beautiful patterns all coordinate together. So yeah, so definitely give it a go. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today. It was so lovely to share part of my birthday with you. Actually, let me tip the camera back face to face so that I can say goodbye to you in person, because I like to do that. Just bear with me one moment and I'll adjust my camera. Here we go. There we go. All right, now you can all see me. I felt like I was talking to the air. Well, I wasn't, because I knew you were all there, but it's much nicer when you can talk to people face to face, even though you can see me, but I can't see you. But I can see your comments, so I know that you're there. Yes, so thank you so much. Just getting my chair comfy again. Thank you so much for sharing part of my birthday with me today. It was so lovely. I had a lot of fun creating that card with you. So I really hope that you'll give it a go and try this double, now what did I call it? Let me check on I've got to keep remembering. Double triangle fun fold card. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? But it's a really, really fun one to create. And I think, don't you think that the recipient will be so blown away by a card like that has all of those fun interactive, you know, folds, and they'll be like, oh, and there's another layer and another layer, a bit like Pass the Parcel, you know, and another layer and another layer. So it's always lots of fun. So I've got lots of birthdays coming up soon. So this will go to one of the birthday people that are having their birthdays really, really soon as well. Oh, thank you, Brenton. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you for all the birthday wishes, everybody. Yeah, it'll be a quiet one today, but we are planning to celebrate tomorrow. However, as I said at the beginning, my son did spoil me this morning, and he made me breakfast before he went to work. He made me beautiful pancakes today. And I'll tell you what, he made better pancakes than I do. He did them really, really well. They were perfect color. They weren't doughy. They were just perfect. And he put me to shame, because I thought, whoa, I didn't even teach you to make these, and you've made them beautifully. So yeah, so that was nice. So I did get spoiled this morning with having breakfast made for me. So it was very yummy. All right, well, you enjoy the rest of your day, and we are coming up on the weekend. So I hope you all have a great weekend, and I hope you get some crafting in there too. We've got our monthly team gathering coming up this Saturday, so that'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, so we will do a little bit of crafting together, and we'll share some recognitions in our team, and I'll update my team with all the latest news and all of those things. And then we'll have a couple of hours of crafting together, which is always lots of fun. So Kids seem to surprise us like that. Yes, I know, right? And he doesn't even cook. Like normally he doesn't, he'll boil a pot of pasta and that's it pretty much. But yeah, but he can cook pancakes. So now I know who to ask whenever I want pancakes. Yeah. Oh, Cindy said, what a nice son. Be proud he can cook. Well, yeah, proud that he can cook pancakes. Yes. Oh, Canada Day is there on July 1. Oh, have a lovely celebration, Cindy. I hope you have a wonderful day. So that's on Saturday. Yeah. Oh, have a lovely day. I hope you enjoy celebrating. All right, well, I will let you all go on with your day or your evening if you're overseas, and some of you are probably getting ready to go to bed soon, I would imagine too. So yeah, so just have a great time, everyone. Stay safe, and as I always say, happy crafting. See you soon. Bye bye.